What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another live this week. First, you already know what I got to do. I got to check my platforms, make sure everything is running smoothly. So we're going to check Facebook real quick. Let's get Facebook out the way. Okay, Facebook looking good. Let's check out LinkedIn here. Where we at on LinkedIn? Okay, is this live? Can y'all on LinkedIn see me? Okay, yep, we looking good on LinkedIn as well. Okay, Instagram looks like it's, even though we got an error on Instagram, looks like it's running smooth. Okay, great, great, great. So we back. Today, I am just talking to a gentleman who left HR and landed a major six-figure role in the cloud. This gentleman just didn't take no for an answer, did everything he needed to do, networked his ass off because he knew the success was around the corner and he knew what he could get because he's seen his friends be successful, other people be successful. So it was no doubt in his mind that he could do the same thing. And if y'all can hear me, y'all can see me, I want y'all to put the ABs in the chat right now. Put the ABs in the chat and welcome Big Dog Alhaji Bob. What's up, Big Dog? How are you?
I'm doing well, Broadus, man. What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to have you here, man, just to really just give the game, tell your story, give value to the people. And really, y'all, we just want y'all to understand, like, you can do this as well. I was just talking to him about this, where it's so many people telling you that you can't do this right now. And I just want to instill that faith in you and show you that you don't let anyone else write the story for you. So when you online and you looking at somebody really complaining about the market or saying they can't get the job, and then you let it get inside you and you quit, you letting them write your story. So we're here to just show you that you can do this. And really, AB gonna give the game of how he went from HR to landing a TAM role with Wiz. That's major, man. So big ups. Put the ABs in the chat now. Y'all, come on now. Show that man some love. Okay, I see the ABs coming. There we go. All right, so if you don't mind, man, we're gonna, get into the meat and potatoes. You cool with that?
Absolutely. Let's get started.
All right, man. So look, before you made the switch, what limiting belief did you have about breaking into a cloud role, and what finally helped you overcome it?
Man, so let's take it back to October of 2022. I was in HR. I was a HR business partner, and we were already working within the cloud, and I didn't really know what I was looking at. And I was saying to myself, man, what would it take to, work in a cloud-based environment? So, like what all people do, I was on YouTube and I saw your videos, and I was like, man, like, I've seen people like Daniel and other successful Lewitt students like go through, and I was like, man, could this be me? Could I do this? But nah, man, like this they gotta they gotta go through this, they gotta go through that. So I was just like, no, this is too much work. I put the phone down. I was like, all right, cool. Well, no, and that's where it started. From October 2022, I was like, you know what? There's the interest, but what's gonna take to get there? So that's kind of how I came interested and was like had that limiting factor at first.
So we all been there. Like, even when I started, right? I'm like, this thing called cloud, man. It seemed like it's pay well. It didn't suggest that I needed a college degree, which I don't have. So I'm like, okay, so you mean tell me I could just learn this stuff, get some foundational certifications, and prove that I know this and I can get a job? Nah, man. You know what? I don't know nobody in cloud, man. I don't know nobody in tech. Like, raise your hand right now if you ever felt that way when you start looking at this stuff. Where's my hand? There we go. You start looking at this stuff. You have the belief that you can do it, but then you go back like, nah, that ain't for me. Raise your hand, because I want to see how many people on this call really, really feel that way. Because I felt that way. AB just said, "You mind if I call you AB?"
Yeah, of course, and I've definitely felt that way.
Yeah. So definitely, man. So all right. So as you looked at cloud, what was your biggest moment about doing this transition, and really, how did you push through it?
Man, I was I was scared to look at a command line interface and was like, what am I looking at here? Like, what do you mean I can turn this to a file management system? What do you mean I can create resources? Like, what are these services? Why do these companies use services? Like, that was just those questions of like, what's going on here? Like, what is the purpose of all this? So not really getting a real understanding, and then just asking questions and kind of wondering like, what does this all mean? That's kind of what I was going through, and was like just doubting myself, like, oh man, like I don't know if I can do this. Like, is this really something I can really get by? Because at that point, I knew HR was just it can only get me to so far.
Mm, mm. So with that, asking yourself, how can you get by? What motivated you to stay on course so you could push through it?
Man, that's a great question. I think one thing that definitely motivated me was mentorship and community, right?
Mhm.
So I definitely say that, the community, this cloud community, the developer community, and having a mentor, someone that's already in, a role or just particularly in the industry that you're looking for, that's what motivated me. Because generally the people that I had conversations with, they didn't have a college degree. They didn't go to college essentially for technology. They had interesting backgrounds to get to where they are now, but they all had to understand, the foundation and creating a foundation. And those are the people that I had the conversations with. So that's what motivated me to just be like, you know what, they can do that. So why can't I do that?
Yo, and it makes it pretty easy, right? Where we change our circle, to be honest. Like I tell this story all the time. When I was getting into cloud, I barely knew what it was, right? So I'm from a small county and no one knew what it was. So like when I started talking to people about this, literally, this is no lie. People were asking me like, "Yo, are you trying to do like those pyramid schemes?" Like I'm just trying to talk to y'all about getting into tech. And it was just so far removed, like cloud, it didn't know what it was. It didn't really think like, hey, you could work remotely and make great money. So it was just unbelievable, right? So I had to really do some outreach on LinkedIn and really just connect with people that were doing it in the cities nearby, like Charlottesville, Virginia, or Richmond, Virginia, and change my circle just a little bit because what I needed to just really understand is just have those conversations with people who are in it and people who are doing it, and eventually I'll become one. So you know how they say if you hang around five broke people and you're the sixth person in the group, eventually you'll probably become the broke person, right? Or if you're the only person with money in there, then you're not doing yourself any service because you're not learning anything. Everybody else has the broke mindset, so you need to get around a new circle. And that's what I eventually did, man. And I know a lot of you right now are looking at the situation like, hey man, I don't have anyone. I don't have anyone to bounce questions off of. You know, listen, it's a whole platform called LinkedIn. And I guarantee you, if there's no one in your town or small city, there's someone in the nearby cities that you could connect with that's doing what you want to do, that you can literally, invite to the next meetup that you may see in that city or invite to lunch, whatever the case may be. I had so many people and people invite me and I invited them to lunch. We just created that relationship and we just became friends. That's just how it was. And I want y'all to see that all the resources that you have that you need are right here. That's it. You just got to open your eyes to the opportunities. So, all right, you put yourself around circles, right? You came in and you decided to make the jump to get into a program to really help yourself and learn. What was the first real project or really skill that you focused on that gave you the confidence and really help you signal to hiring managers and recruiters that you were ready?
Easily, it has to be creating my own custom VPC. by far. It's not it doesn't even compare just because it gives you the opportunity to, number one, you're building the project, right? So you're hands on. You can configure it from bits by bits, piece by piece, and then you're actually, you have the opportunity to document, which is huge. I mean, you are configuring it, and then you can talk about what you actually did by
Mhm.
documenting it. And now you have a project where you can showcase this, because you'd be surprised how many organizations, how many, particular individual contributors don't actually know how to configure their own, VPC. If they were given it, given all the instructions, they probably wouldn't know, essentially. And you have that ability to do it. So that confidence alone to create my own custom VPC was enough to say, okay, well, this is really, really good. Now, let me go ahead and show this to someone that's not technical. Because again, someone not technical is my best way of learning it, retaining it, and then showing them, hey, I took some time to build this out, read this out, and then see if you can create it on your own, right? Kind of like, if one example I give out to people all the time is, if they want to practice technical documentation, is, hey, like, go ahead and try to describe what it's like creating a peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Like, what are the ingredients for it? What do you need? Document that, and then read that over to someone that you think doesn't know how to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich. And, it's a great learning experience for you to work on that. So that was a really confidence booster right there.
Yeah, and that's a pretty head banging project too, depending on where you at. And for those of you who haven't built their own custom VPC yet, it's on the way, and you will be challenged. But when you get through, you will feel like you accomplished a whole lot and learned a whole lot about networking, infrastructure, how AWS or whatever network you're building, which is AWS, or if you're building in Azure or you're building in GCP, how that particular cloud service provider works with redundancy and fault tolerance. So, one of the things that I think everyone overlooks right now is the power of documenting even the hard things, because you feel that other people who are knowledgeable will look at your stuff, and maybe you have made a mistake that you missed, and they will literally rip you to shreds. But this is not an industry where we do that, because if someone takes a person who's trying to learn and rips them to shreds on LinkedIn, it literally is going to look bad for them. It's not going to look bad for you. You're the one learning, right? You don't know what you don't know, and you had the guts to go out and create something and share with the world. That person did the easy thing, just tear you down, and really, it could probably ruin opportunities for them as well. And I say that to say there are also going to be people that haven't done what you've done. You may think what you're doing is so beginner level, and you're like, nobody's going to care about this. But it's going to be people who have the position and title that you want that has never done this stuff. And you're going to be like, how? 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 And that's just the industry. So you showcasing everything that you built, even the failures, and showing like how you got over the failures. This is what people are looking for. They want to see your story. Like, how does Broadus solve problems if we were to give him something on a team? We want to see that thought process. So, what you are holding yourself back from doing is actually going to be the key that unlocks opportunities for you right now.
So
So,
I actually wanted to add on to that,
go ahead, bro.
because, man, you preaching right now, man. My goodness. I mean, I'm telling you, this is what you are creating a brand. You are essentially, you are, like you always say, because I'm a fan of your videos. I'm a fan of everything. I literally
Appreciate
took
it.
that, applied it, and it worked for me. And this is a legitimate thing that works. You are literally creating a brand, and you are a business, and you have to sell yourself,
Mhm.
essentially letting those organizations know that you are a business to help solve whatever challenges that they are working with technology. Because at the end of the day, with all the technologies that, whether it's a platform or products, whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, it's still people that you have to work with. And you have to create at least a relationship with those people in order to work with those technologies. So you got to show them, you got to show what you can do. You got to show those problem solving skills. And
Yep.
you cannot be afraid to put yourself out there because you never know. You might connect with people. Someone might look at your project and say, wow, this is fantastic. Hey, do you have some time? I wanted to look over XYZ or how you did this, or I'm struggling with this. Maybe we can work on a different, like, you never know the type of connections and the type of people that you'll, eventually find when you put yourself out there. So, Broadus, I can't agree with you anymore. Like, this is the game within the game that you're providing, is what I say.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And I wanna add on to this as well, if y'all don't mind. Um, when AB said that you are a business, think of yourself as if you were to create your own business right now, you know there's competition out here that does the same thing that you do. You know this, right? But that doesn't stop people from creating business because they understand the opportunities, right? That shouldn't stop you from building your service or building your brand as a business because at the end of the day, sometimes people do business with businesses because of certain people. And someone may so what I'm trying to say is think about it like this. If you were to create your business and you sell hot wings, and I'm saying that because I see my birthday card or somebody had hot wings on there. You sell hot wings, and you know there's other hot wing companies out here down the street or whatever. Someone may come and buy hot wings from you because of who you are. Just because of who you are, because of your temperament, because how you greet people, how you talk to them, how you build relationships with them, how you just get to know them, right? It's the same way in tech. A company may want to hire you because of who you are. And you may have you have a unique creative strategy, a unique voice, something creative inside you that you're just not letting people see because you're scared of what people may think. But you're doing yourself a disservice because someone may just gravitate towards you just because the way you post and how you talk on videos. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want y'all to forget that because every single person is different. You might have a bedside manner when you talk and let's say you create a video about your projects or the VPC that you just created. You may have a bedside manner where you just talking and you just talking directly to someone who needs to hear what you're saying. And that person could be the tech lead of a company that you've been wanting to work for. And they're like, yo, I really like how he just connects or she just connects. I want to talk to her. I want to learn more about her. And just because you, not even the projects, but just because they see something in you, they're like, you know what? The tech can be learned, but the person and how they speak and how they connect, that's something that really can't be taught. And you, my friends on here, have that creativity inside you that you're not unleashing right now. And I, for one, want to give you the permission to go out here and just be your fucking self and put your stuff out so people can see exactly who you are. All right. So, look, before we move on, just put the gems in the chat if this is value already. I just want to make sure just like every other live, I want to make sure we're giving value. And I'm just helping you, and AB's helping you reframe your mind to do what needs to be done so you be successful. I'm not going to move until I see a gym. So if y'all want to continue, somebody better put a gym in the comments, goddamn. I'll tell you that right now. I know we got a little delay, so we give me about 10 seconds. Somebody put okay, I accept that. I accept that. Okay. All right, there we go. There we go. We got the gym. I want to make sure there's valuable for y'all. So AB, this is an important question. I think a lot of people want to see really is about, how did you really balance your full-time job or learning and really making the pivot? And if you can share, like, what did your weekly schedule actually look like?
So I was on that. I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
Mm,
Meaning, when I was doing my 9 to 5, I was initially after HR. I took a couple like tier one, tier two level jobs, rather if it was a data center tech or a support engineer. But during those times, it was trying to take at least 30 minutes to an hour of learning something new. Like you say, because in those videos, hey, you say, hey, like every chance you get, 30 minutes, you'll get to learn something. That's more value that you're presenting. If you can make it an hour, then so. But that's exactly what I was doing every time I get off work. I would jump on, I'd jump on and I'd try to learn something. I'd try to build something. And if I had, an issue with it, I'd take some time, I'd walk away, then I'd come back, troubleshoot it, tear it down, then break it back up. Right. So my Monday through Fridays, every hour, 2 hours after I get off, before I even work out and do extracurricular activities, which was sports, I would 100% just try to troubleshoot or learn something new. And I just made it a habit. It just became just something that I was like, all right, like guys, I can't play ball. I can't play flag football. I gotta learn this material. I gotta learn this service. I gotta learn this. I gotta learn that. Because that's how you're building tolerance, right? It's like
mm.
you wanna get stronger, you have to learn how to work out. And then if you wanna, look healthier, you gotta learn how to eat and you gotta learn these routines. So that's what I did to try to build some consistency in my schedule, to where it definitely paid off once I actually got the opportunity to showcase the skills. But yeah, just build a consistent schedule after I got off work.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about. Really, just consistency, right? So I made a pact to myself where, hey, I was like, I gained a little weight. I was like, hey, man, I gotta get healthy. So I hit the gym, right? I joined the community and I knew, 6 o'clock in the morning every day. That's what we do. I knew I had to be consistent doing 6 o'clock a.m. every day. And just like learning, what happens is it just becomes etched in your daily strategy, right? And eventually you'll put a shirt on. You'd be like, oh. I put a shirt on. I haven't been able to wear it for like 2 years. And I was like, yo, don't get me out here showing off.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's exactly how tech is. When you all do things you think that are just super small, they're actually steps in the right direction. So when you get a problem or you get a project and you actually think you can't do it, that's why some people don't move forward because they get something in front of them and they look at it and they like, "No, I can't do this." But really, if you just break it down chunk by chunk and get it done, you'd be like, yo, why was I even scared? Like, wow, I didn't even think that I could do this. And it's because of the daily habits that you consistently put in your life every day. If you want this as bad as you say you do, right? Put your hand up if you want a great paying role in tech right now. Put your hand up. If you want that, that doesn't just fall in your lap, right? There's no job that's out there that's looking for broadest. Yeah, I'm trying to find broadest. No, you have to be visible and you have to be visible every day. So this is totally obtainable. You just can't come and expect $100,000 salary with a $2 work ethic. You can't. That's not how business is ran. Some businesses get lucky where they make a ton of money without putting any type of investment in. But your business, you're going to need to put some type of investment, and it could be multiple investments from finances to time. To that time could be the time dedicated you put in, but also, all honesty, time away from family as well. Sometimes you can't do those things that you want to do because you're trying to make a life better And I had to make my family understand that when I was going into tech, and they understood it and they gave me the space. And now I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they're happy that they gave me the space to do it. So I just want to let y'all know that. So let's talk about a strategy that you use that most people overlook. And can you tell us more about that? And could you break it down to what you did and how that worked out for you? Because I know we talked about this before the live.
All right, now we get into the meat and potatoes, brother. I so there's a couple things that I did right to try to stand myself apart from just competition because as a former athlete, especially a Division 1 athlete, I'm competitive. You know what I mean? I don't like losing. So I gotta at least prepare myself knowing like, okay, I'm going against this person or I'm going against this. Like I have to train and put myself in the best position possible. So things that I did were reaching out to companies, reaching out to particular either recruiters, hiring managers, or someone that's in a role that I know I want to, apply to and put myself out there. Like I would shoot their shots in the DMs and say, "Hi, my name is El Haji Ba. I'm I'm very interested within your journey that you've taken in this particular role because generally more times than not they might have not have started it at that company initially when they came out of
Mm.
school or whatever, so they had to at least have a story leading up to it, right? Like you kind of want to get to know the person, before you just ask for the referral, right? Really create that relationship. So other things that I did was understood that if I didn't get a response, right, or if I didn't put myself out there, that if I just cold applied, the one strategy that I had to understand is that you were going to at least get a rejection. And when you get a rejection, it's not the end of the world. It's actually redirection. So
Yeah.
one thing that I emphasized when we were during the time and Level Up in Tech was, man, you're gonna fail. It's okay to fail, but fail forward. Like don't be beaten down because you got a rejection letter or that person didn't respond back to your LinkedIn message, or if you went through multiple rounds of an interview and you didn't get the role, because that's happened, right? Like
Mhm.
gone through multiple rounds of an interview, got to the final interview, did well with the C level executive, and then got a rejection letter the next day. And I was like, man, well, all right, let's do it all over again. Let's create a new project. Let's put itself out there. It's kind of like dating. It's like, all
Yeah.
right, well, it didn't work out this time. Well, maybe I can ask this nice young lady next time to take, I can take her out and then I can start the process. Like you gotta fail forward. It's okay to fail, but don't stay in that mindset. You gotta
Mhm.
go forward with it. And that's the strategies, right? It's put yourself out there and understand that you're gonna get rejections, but it's okay because that's probably not the role for you at the time. That doesn't mean there isn't roles out there because they're still hiring. It's still
Right.
happening. People can still get jobs. So that's my strategy.
Absolutely. Nah, man. Like that just connects everything. Cause I mean, especially when you look at it from a business mindset. So look at it from this way as well. Most people start businesses and reach out to a couple people to see if they buy, family, friends, etc. And they don't get bites. They get rejected. Like, oh no, no. And then they close their business down. Man, see, I told you nobody wanted to buy. And it's like, bro, like you haven't even scratched the surface of the type of customers that can buy from you. You talk about 2, 3 customers that turned you down, and you equate that to nobody wants your stuff. Same thing. You get a rejection letter or two, and you say, "Oh man, see, I told you no one's hiring." You know how many companies there are that's out here in the United States or in the world, and every company is a tech company.
Yeah.
They have tech roles. So because 2 companies rejected you, you want to take that and say, "Hey, I'm going to quit." That mindset already is going to make you lose. So fail forward, just like AB said. Take If it's not the thing, it's the thing that leads you to the thing. Meaning, you get the rejection, just let it fuel you to work and solve the problems that maybe you were weak in. So the next time you get an interview or the next time you apply, they see those strengths on your resume and they call you. Even if it takes you 100, it doesn't matter. All it takes is one yes. That's all it takes. And I guarantee you, I promise you, if somebody puts 200 applications, 300 applications in, and they just got a job, I guarantee you, those 299 applications that they just put in before this one don't even matter anymore.
Nope. Exactly.
Because they got the job. They went through the interview. Those 299 applications that told them they rejected them, or they didn't hear anything, or they went through the interview and still got rejected, that doesn't even matter. So keep going, yo. Y'all got this. It's right here. The industry is going to pick up. The industry is going to be hiring even more. So why stop? Why quit? Continue to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, because what you're going to do is put yourself in a position where opportunity is going to come and you haven't done anything, and you'll be like, oh man, they just sent me, my boy just sent me this role. I gotta learn this very quickly. You're gonna put stress on yourself when all you could just been learning this thing the whole time anyway. So when the opportunity came, you'd be like, yeah, I could apply for this right now. I'm straight. So I'm talking to someone out there that's listening and taking notes. And you better be taking notes what AB saying as well, because he's giving you the game of what actually helped him be successful. And he's right. He's telling you right now how he became a TAM. So speaking of that, coming from HR, what skills did you bring with you that actually help you thrive as a TAM, do you feel?
I would say the transferable skills, right? So like you talked about, well, first and foremost, brothers, scared money don't make money. So if you're scared, you don't want to do it, then you ain't gonna get what you want from it. You're never gonna attain it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But I would say transferable skills, because showing things like organization, man, like if you can show that you're organized, if you could show that you can have clear communication, right? You can, display that you can have conversations, right? Empathy, showing empathy, especially being a technical account manager and, having customers, going into their environments and really showing that care for those customers, right? Showing that you have attention to detail is huge. Like you want to show that you understand exactly what's being asked of you, and having those active listening skills as well. Like those transferable skills that I've had from HR, and then obviously, you could see the public speaking skills that kind of just speaks for itself. I just love to try to help out as much as possible. That is what really helped me thrive into going through the interview process and delivering with excellence. The technical was just, all right, well, let me learn the services, let me learn the cloud service providers, let me create projects, and then let me talk about the projects, and then let's document the projects, and then let's showcase the projects. I mean, yeah, that's technical. Yeah, those are technical pieces to it. But the most important part was the transferable skills, because that's just what I came from with HR. So I would say those transferable skills made it just what it was to be the role that I got at Woods.
No, that makes sense, because y'all have to understand, even if you're going to be faced with two types of customers, whether external or internal.
Mm-hmm.
So like, even if you communicate with another department, those are your internal customers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So organizations want to see that you have the ability to communicate, really kind of mentor other peers from the things that you are the subject matter expert on, and really just show that you can think quickly about solutions and communicate those solutions as well. So if you're a person who is, let's say you're a waiter or waitress, think about it. You know how many people you deal with every day that's different? And you know how many different yous you have to be to accommodate those different people? And problem solve quickly on your feet. If food is not right, how you gonna make it right? Somebody waited too long for their food, an hour or so. How you gonna take care of that, right? How you gonna de-escalate the situation, make the customer so happy even when something's going wrong that they still want to come back to see you. Think about all those things that y'all do. That's exactly what you're going to be doing in tech. And those are the skills, like I told you. Each one of you have this creative ability about yourself to just shine. And it's something that you're probably scared to let out because you think it's weird and people may talk. Let it out. Like don't matter. Like if you in, customer service anywhere, customer service at Kroger, customer service at Publix, doesn't matter. You're dealing with different people. Retail, you sell phones at Verizon. You're dealing with different people. You in construction, you're dealing with different people. Use those soft skills, those transferable skills to showcase your ability to think, this is my process of solving problems, and this is how I can help your organization solve problems with their customers as well. So, all right. So looking back, right? If you had to start all over again today, what would you do differently in your first 30 days?
I think what I would do differently is not be afraid to fail. Because I first had, I first was like, I think that was the one thing that I was in the back of my mind of man, like what if I look like a fool putting out these technical projects out here and someone calls me out
Yeah.
on my project and say, oh, you didn't do this or didn't do that, or this is not what I did. This is not what I looked like when I did it. And yeah, I think what I would have done initially was just try to just ignore all that and just go after it. Just put myself out there as early as possible. Because at the end of the day, someone's going to read it. Someone's going to give you your flowers for it. And you never know. That could be a hiring manager. That could be a recruiter. That could be a potential future colleague that takes in your work and says, man, this is a great job, Alhaji. Like, let's set up a call so you can talk to a hiring team. So I wish I would have just put myself out earlier. Like, I think, that would have, that would have gotten the ball rolling a little bit quicker. But I mean, hey, like I love the entire progress. I'd do it all over again if I could.
No, man, I agree. I think I would say the same thing. I would say I would build and then learn how to explain what I'm building and how it works.
Mhm.
Because I had the same thing too. Like, man, what if somebody look at my stuff and just chop me down?
Right.
But a lot of times y'all have to understand, unless the person knows it, they have to look at what you're doing and kind of make sure they're not going to say anything wrong as well. Right.
Right.
So like you looking at somebody's project, you got to make sure, like, okay, I see they're doing right. Let me make sure I'm not going to say anything wrong by critiquing them. So they got to spend time on your project to make sure what their theory is going to be
Yeah.
right before they even, so it's a learning journey for everyone. So if you trying to figure out like where do I start with cloud, like just take a little thing like, hey, let me build my own account first. Let me create my own account. Let me do that. Because some of y'all haven't even done that yet. Let me create my own account and let me go through documentation. And let's say, oh, if I'm on Google, let me build my first server, which is called a compute engine, right? Or if I'm on Microsoft Azure, let me build my first server, which is called a virtual machine. Or if I'm on AWS, let me build my first server, which is called an EC2. So take the quick start guides, build that server, then post that project, document your process, post the project, and then talk about what is the EC2 instance and how it works, how it impacts businesses. That's a small, simple step. And that gives you confidence because now you've done the research to really understand it. You would never forget it. You build something small. Now you keep going, add to it. Okay, well, I know EC2 instance is a server, but what happens if like I host a website on my server and I want a lot of traffic to come to the server? What happens? Like it probably won't be able to handle a lot of traffic. So what do I need to do in order to be able to make sure the traffic it can reach my site with no problems, right? Now, if you start thinking like that, research it, then build it, then talk about it. That's it. I see somebody got a question here. What is the impact of Gen AI on the cloud job market? Um, I would say everyone's using it. But it depends on the level of how you use it, right? You should be using it to help you learn quicker and really get access to things that you don't have to build out yourself to be able to build a solution. For what I mean is, instead of you building code from scratch, you can get an outline of code that really can help you solve a certain problem. Or you can have things just broken down to you at a certain level, right? If you don't understand tech talk, right? Like, I don't understand this language that this, I'm reading this, but I really don't understand what they're saying. You can literally just zip it in Chat GPT and ask it, hey, can you break this down to me as I'm a 10-year-old? And it will help you really understand it. You should be using it to just learn and learn faster. The things that took us years to learn, you can learn within days and weeks if you really apply yourself. That's how I look at it. What are your thoughts on that, AB?
So, this is in all the communities that I'm in, this is a constant talk of, the disruption of AI. But you're absolutely on par. Like, AI is here for us to utilize as another tool to sharpen up whatever skill set, whatever learning that we're trying to instill in this journey. Like, AI is here. AI is something that we should take advantage of. But I personally think that AI is not going to be enough to essentially take away people's jobs. If anything, it's going to create more jobs. It's going to create more opportunities. Because again, you got to think about it. AI is not making emotional decisions. AI is just literally being computed. You need to have programmers, developers, architects to actually have this actual platform out and running. And if it breaks down, AI can't fix the AI. You need to have
Right.
someone that's able to go in and fix the platform. So AI is here for us. So let's use it. Let's not be afraid of it. Let's take advantage of it. That's how I see it, and that's the direction that it's going. And don't read into what people say, or don't read into what they say if AI is going to take jobs. It's here to create more jobs, which it will do.
What you have to do, though, is start learning. You can't be scared of learning it. And I
Scared
think
money
some
don't
people
make
are
money.
they're in this frozen state right now where they're like, I'm so scared to learn it. What is going to do? It's only going to help you be better and make you more money. I mean, really, I'm just being honest. You learn AI right now, even in the simplest form. Think about it. You're a step ahead of people who don't want to learn it at all, scared to learn it. So organizations are out here looking for people who just even understand the basics to increase and monetize on their workflow, learn more about their customers, right? Because the whole gist of this with AI is for companies to automate, really take the things that they do manually, and or for analyzing, or for um, just creating or analyzing data, or just creating a workflow um, that can help them make more money in the back end. So what I mean is, as I get my thoughts together, what I mean is a company can look at AI and say, we can use it in a few ways. We can save time here with building new systems in the back, but we can also take these systems and data and use AI to learn more about our customers so we can tap in more with our customers and make more money. So think about it. When you go to a site and the next thing you know, you see those sneakers that you just looked at on the site on Facebook, that's Meta learning more about your behavior and using AI to sell other companies ad spots to advertise to you
Yep.
so you can buy more product. Like, we know that brought us like the new Deion Sanders that came out. He looked at it 4 times. So the new Deion Sanders coming out, I'm going to see ads for Deion Sanders shoes every single day, and it's going to make me buy. So whatever the problem is, they're using AI to solve that problem, but also speak to the desires of their customers and find better solutions. You, on the other hand, shouldn't be scared because it still runs off of infrastructure, whether on-prem hardware, which is always going to run off of hardware, but whether you use building that hardware on-prem in a data center, is that your job, or you're building infrastructure in the cloud as well, or you're developing, you're creating the workflows, you're feeding the data, you're analyzing whatever it is that you're doing. So, more of the story is it's going to be more money to be made. And while there's more money to be made, it's going to be a need for more people to be hired. And you shouldn't be scared of learning a new skill that can take you to a new level. That's it. All right. So, last question for you, big dog. What would you, and we just talked about this too, what would you say to someone watching this who's scared to take the first step in the cloud, especially if they're coming from a completely different field?
Man, I would say I was just like you. I was just like whoever's watching this. I was just like you. I'd go to the Level Up in Tech pages. I would watch all videos back when I could watch the very first one and was like, is this really possible? I've been to it where I've seen had no idea about what a CLI is, what the UI looks like. Like I've been through those where I don't know what to do. I don't know who to ask questions of. And I'm here to tell you, you you're watching this video, so you can reach out to me anytime. I love to answer any questions you have, but you have to go out there and get it. You cannot be afraid because the opportunities are endless. Like someone like me who, man, I struggled. I struggled as an HR professional. And then having a strong network like my friend who's on this, who you just brought himself up, having a strong support, shout out to Donnie McQueen, man. If you don't want to reach out to me, reach out to that guy because you talk about accountability. That guy's going to hold you accountable if you want to join this industry. But ultimately, like what I would have to say is do not be afraid to go out there, put yourself out there, use a platform like this, Level Up in Tech, to be able to really change your life here. I mean, I was skeptical at first. Then I went through the program, met Broadus in live person. I was like, Broadus, man, I love what you're doing, man. This is awesome for me, someone that I didn't think I'd catch on. And here I am trying to give game to people. And that's all I can say. Just don't be afraid, man. There's so many opportunities you can have. And there's so many people in so many communities that are willing to help, and take advantage because there's whatever you want to do, we're not afraid to give you the insight. You just have to go out there and let us know how we can help, and that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna say the same thing. I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, y'all know the story. I was in banking and I was tired of it. Like, yo, I was tired. I needed more money. I needed better job. I just knew there was something better out there for me. Not saying there's something wrong with banking, but after a while, you just get tired of it and you want something better. And I know some of you are right there in the cusp. Like, hey, I know what I want. I know I want to get into this industry, but I don't feel that I can do it. And I'm telling you, AB told you, you can do this. All you need is a strategy, accountability, and consistency. And your success is already marked. If God put the dream in your heart and your mind, He can put it in your hand. And that's all you need to believe, that there's a yes out there waiting for you. All right. So with that being said, right, if you're at this moment where you don't want to do it alone, you want to focus on building high level skills that's going to get you paid and help you transition out your role, and you want to work with us to do that, drop the LU in the chat. I'll reach out to you to see if there's a way we can help you reach your goals. So, but today has to be the day that you decide that you are certain that you want to do the work, gain the experience, and push yourself to another level and get yourself out of that comfort zone, because none of this is going to happen if you don't do that. All right. Put the LUs in the chat if you want to work with us, and I'll reach out to you. AB, it's been a huge pleasure having you on here, man. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you and Nani pulling up on me in DC at the meetup too, man. That was dope, man. So
Love that, man. I hope we can do it again, and hopefully we have more people that are part of this Level Up community just come in and I'm telling you that like this is a life changing opportunity here, y'all. Like here's someone I was like I don't know if this is for me, and I committed for 8 to 10 months of just getting after it. And I had fun troubleshooting. I had fun breaking down projects and showcasing. But the networking piece also of going out there, putting myself, all came from Level Up in Tech, y'all. This is not something to play with. You have to take advantage if you can, man.
I appreciate it, man. So once again, y'all, it's your year to level up. It's your year to make it whatever you want to make it. It's not in no one else's hands. It's in your hands to take the step. It's in your hands to do the work. It's in your hands to invest in yourself financially and time wise, because you can do this. Don't let no one else write your story but you. All right. So until next time, y'all keep leveling up. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. All right. Holla.